Welcome everyone, I'm Blake from Bourbonr.com. This is another Bourbonr review. Tonight we're going to be reviewing the Kentucky Owl Rye. This is the first batch of their rye. If you're familiar with the Kentucky Owl brand, I've reviewed a few of their other releases before the bourbon, most recently being the Batch 7 bourbon. This is the first year for the rye, as well as the first year that Kentucky Owl has been available outside of Kentucky. If you're not familiar with the brand, check out one of my old reviews. I have a full story as well as an interview with Dixon Dedman, who is the founder of the brand. Well, he renewed or restarted the brand. It was an old brand that his great grandfather has started, but all that's on Bourbonr if you just search for Kentucky Owl. So a little bit about the rye. We don't know exactly where it's sourced from. Obviously, it's sourced from somewhere in Kentucky because it's a Kentucky straight rye. Most likely, I talked with a few other people about that, and most likely it's probably Barton, if I had to guess, but don't know for sure. But it is 11 years, so it's age stated. It is 110.6 proof, and it's not barrel proof. Actually, I talked with Dixon, and he said, I don't remember the exact number, but whenever he blended everything together, it was around the high 120s, 130s, and got proof down to 110. So still a high proof, 11 years old, and I paid, I believe it was $130 for this bottle. So it is an expensive bottle, but that is pretty typical in today's market. You know, nothing seems to come out that's under that $100 mark. But we'll go ahead and get started with the review. I already have my glass poured. So the initial nose is it's a lot of the vanilla and sweet fruits, kind of that bubble gum nose. There's baking spice like the cinnamon and nutmeg, but then it just has like that juicy fruit kind of nose. Almost a sweeter fruit like banana, not quite that green apple acidic nose, but it's a really good nose. Yeah, I just keep getting more of the fruits, kind of the cream, like a cream and berry kind of thing, like more of a raspberry. So the taste is really good. Hold on, I'm gonna go back. There's caramel and fruitiness. It's almost like more of a mellow, fruity taste, like a cantaloupe or something like that. Not something I typically get, but it's not like that high, bright fruitiness. It's more of like a mellow, rounded fruitiness. There's definitely some spice, a little bit of leather and black pepper on the finish. Man, it's really good. So I've drank this. You can see there's a fair amount out of this bottle, and I've only had it probably 2 weeks or so. It's a really good pour. Doing reviews like this are tough because there's always going to be some pushback on the price, but from what I've seen, more and more bottles keep coming out, and they are available at close to retail, between $130 and $160 depending on your state. So I don't know if that's a good thing or a bad thing that they are more expensive, but it's somewhat more available as well. So it's kind of a balancing act at this point for brands. But as far as the quality of the rye goes, it's really, really good. Haven't seen a ton of other reviews, but everyone I've talked to has enjoyed this one as well. Even now on the finish is long. I'm still getting black tea, a little bit of peach, and a little more of that mint or spearmint taste. That's really good. As most of you know, Smooth Ambler was kind of my go-to rye for a while because it's available, high proof, usually somewhere in the 7 to 8 range. You could find it. And then that went away. So now basically any rye over about 6 years is really tough to find, especially good ones. Obviously there's Whistle Pig, which they have their 10-year, but that's in the $100 range, well, $70 to $100 range depending on the bottle. And then everything else, you have Thomas Handy, Sazerac 18, a lot of these other limited editions. So I'm glad to see another addition to the rye category. So that's going to be pretty much it for tonight. If you have any questions, feel free to add them in the comments. I'll be happy to answer them. Thanks.